I wake up at 5:36. I had overcome a lot of blockages. I saw beauty, joy and excitement everywhere. This time I was all alone in the dream, whereas often I am surrounded by family members or friends. But even alone, for the first time I did not feel alone, but connected to society, to the city, to the community, to humanity, and to the universe, and it was as if I constantly felt warmth, love, something that truly feels the feeling of isolation and loneliness that we can feel as a human being. I'm walking around this new city alone for the first time. I explore a new terrain, a new world that I don't know. It looks like a physical city, but it's so different in sensations and in a good way. I am constantly excited and enthusiastic at the idea of seeing novelty everywhere, every matter, every object, building or person that I look at. It's new, exciting, I can be surprised every time and I can learn, improve myself, build everything I want in this universe, build a business, meet people, share my knowledge, learn from others, explore space, explore places, etc. Then I see Sissi's palace, which was at the same time a church, a museum on top, toilets, and a university building with gardens. Amazing. I visit Sissi's palace alone, which looks like the Greek presidential palace. Upstairs it's like a museum with Sissi's artifacts, and there are the gardens around and some others, visitors and guards upstairs. And it's as if Sissi is the current queen of the city, or at least of the place, who is in the highest room in the middle, in her office working or doing whatever, and with some visitors we pass through her home by visiting her museum just below. And everyone is aware of his benevolent presence. It is something normal, like everyone is aware of the presence of our current presidents or leaders in the real world. And all leaders bring positive things. That's what I think personally too. In real life I often heard those close to me constantly complain about leaders and governments, while personally I understand the good that they bring to the world, society, and I find that every leader deserves their place. And then I go up to the first floor, which is at the same time above the church, but in reality this church is between 50 and 100 meters high. But yes, it is at the same time a first floor 2 or 3 meters from the ground. And there is a red carpet everywhere and lots of young students moving around the halls. It's so cool and exciting. It is both an entrance corridor to a concert hall and also a university. And there is this sort of wooden wall that houses a row of 10 toilets that you have to go through to get into the building. And all the students go through that, which would be a little strange in real life. So there is this row of toilets at the start of the first floor, with a bay window behind me where you can see the rest of the campus, and behind the toilets, always the red carpet on an entrance hall of about 10 or 20 meters in diameter, with then several possible directions for students or travelers, with in the middle a sort of glass corridor suspended above the ground, which surely leads to an airport with planes. Then I left Mass on foot in this town in Poland, walked around the church a little, and returned on foot via the bridge, full of ideas, of understanding about the beauty of the world, of its evolution, current and permanent. I look a little to the left at the exit of the Mass to see if I'm going to take a bridge on the left, but it's actually too far. But there I see construction sites and understand a lot of people. The leaders take care of the world, the current organized society moves, functions and towards common sense, towards the happiness of all the inhabitants. For example, for this construction project, there are people who decided to do it at this location, having chosen the budget, paying people, they have an idea in mind and long-term projects. And it's okay to pay these employees. It's a different task, a different job than decision makers or architects, but just as beautiful and has its meaning. This job allows them just as much to evolve in an inner journey and spiritual, and to perfect their qualities and values. I understand for a moment the whole harmony of society and how everything moves towards common sense, with what wins in the end, the will to learn, to evolve, and to become more beautiful than this that we already are, rather than stagnation, involution, or ugliness. It is a choice of every moment, and the choice to become brighter always wins in the end. Even if it is 51%, 49%, there is still a huge difference, which is observed in the subtlety, and which will become the norm over time, getting closer to 100%. And then I wake up. I wake up at 8:20. Dream 2. This time I look at my YouTube statistics and I see that several of my musics are exploding. For example, the audio version of my music Squares has 400 views in one day. Then I realize that I miss out the image, and that it is in fact the audio of Lightsaber, another of my songs that had some views not long ago. Then I tell myself that the work is finally paying off, that by uploading several videos and shorts per day for several months, the algorithm will recommend me more. Then I wake up. I didn't have these views in the dream, but I still have a few dozens views thanks to my latest travel diary shorts, which is still better than nothing and consistent with my strategy for several weeks of uploading in mass.